And it's lights out and away we go!
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the GTUK F1 podcast. I'm joined by David.
Hey, how's it going?
So, Spa.
Spa, I'm on record meeting saying one of my favourite circuits. I stand by that, but a sprint weekend as well. And unfortunately, I only got to see the two main race events just due to a very busy weekend I had.
Oh, like I said, I managed to catch sprint quali, but then quali was highlights.
Yeah, sprint quali and quali, you're
highlights.
gonna have to start lead on that one. So I saw a bit of highlights in that, but not a huge amount.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to really say. I mean, it's apart from the big two shocks out of that was the fact that Antonelli was out for sprint quali and Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton spun it, didn't he? I saw the clip of that. Spun it in the last corner.
And then, you know, Yuki wasn't slow. I don't know what it is at the moment with the Red Bull just seemed to be a little bit different.
Well, the thing is, the Red Bull, when it's not in Max's hands, is not a great car, let's be honest. If it wasn't for Max's ability, that car would be a lot further down the grid than it currently is.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Yeah, the Yuki was actually the lowest Red Bull car.
Well, we know that. But...
Bulls, stuff like Albon being out in Q1, I would say, is a slight surprise. You'd normally expect him to make sort of Q2.
For sprint, yeah. Yeah, it was a bit strange.
Made two.
You what?
I said both Aston Martins made sprint quali 2. And then Russell out in 13, so definitely not a good week, not a good sprint qualifying for the Mercedes boys.
No. And then, usual suspects, two McLarens at the top with one Ferrari and shocker for the sprint.
Max.
Well, yeah, but the shocker for the sprint quali was also having Ocon up there.
Well, Haas seemed to go very aggressive on their strategy, I think, with both cars. They're running both very aggressive, very much based on speed. Because it's a circuit where a good amount of speed can actually really help you.
But, from sprint quali, you had Gasly up in 8th. But then, according to the sprint, all seemed to go to...
Well, he technically ran a very well. He technically both did not start and did not finish the sprint. Because he never made the start due to, I believe it was a water leak the car had?
Unsure.
I think it was like a wall leak. Now, they managed to get the car fixed and get it out on track because, especially on the sprint weekend, it's just track time.
Yeah.
And that's just basically what they were after, because obviously the more track time you can get, the better it stands for going into the Sunday.
And then obviously...
But the sprint is... Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. Sprint didn't seem...
The sprint was over in the first corner, wasn't it? With a nice move by Max, you've got to admit. But it's clearly a move that Piastri learned from.
But the sprint just... I don't know with Spa. doesn't tend
I
well
wonder if
for
it's
sprints.
too long a circuit because it's such a long track. The sprint ends up being really not a lot of laps.
Well, it was only 15, but
And I just think that's maybe sprint works better at circuits with shorter laps, and you can get more actual time in, more actual racing laps, something to that nature. I know what you're saying, and it's like I hate saying bad things about a circuit I adore, but I do have to agree.
yeah, it didn't seem to make a good sprint. Where others tracks sprints have been alright. I think it's the length of Spa, that's the problem.
That's what I say, such a long lap.
Because the main race is what? Overall, it's about 40 or 44 laps.
It's kind of the same as the race. I mean, well, say the race is 44, the sprint, say, was it 12 or 15?
15 it was.
15, so yeah, so. I mean, the race technically was only about 42, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But, you know, usual suspects, Max, Oscar, Lando, and Leclerc. And obviously,
Yeah.
Ocon was up there with a Haas. It's just...
Sainz into 6th, Behrman 7th. Both Hasses. I mean, it's a strong weekend for Hassler.
Yeah. Obviously, Aston Martins really didn't progress.
No, I'm guessing that massive Adrian Newey influence they were expecting hasn't quite arrived yet.
Well, it won't until 2026, though, will it really?
That's what I kept saying, but those people, some people didn't seem to agree with that.
Well, unfortunately, Newey won't have much influence in this. He'll have a bit of influence in the car, but he won't. The car
there's
won't
not
be.
a lot you can do.
No, the car won't be designed. The 2026 car will be his car.
And with budget caps, you can't just start making a whole brand new car.
No. No. But yeah, just Albon had quite a shocker for some reason in the sprint.
We don't feel a little in the race, but.
But then, moving forward, we'll go on to qualifying for the race, and both the Aston Martins at the bottom, out in Q1.
You went very well, Blasty Company again. Then. Both Aston Martins, then Kimi.
And Hamilton again.
Colapinto's kind of expected, and Hamilton. Yeah, that's both sessions that Hamilton was out.
Now, did Aston Martin bugger up their setup? Because
did they? I
don't know. Did they? Because they seemed quite shocked. Seemed shocking to see them both out.
I wonder if they went for more of a wet setup. Yeah, I wonder if one or two teams. I think that was kind of the problem. One or two teams went down the avenue that it was going to be very, very wet, and when it wasn't, they were left with cars that weren't particularly quick.
Yeah, it hurt them. Because
you were the setup for really sacrifice your straight line speed, and that's one of the circuits where a lot of straight line speed is really helpful.
Well, yeah, especially after Eau Rouge and Radeon, and into Blanchimont chicane. That's straight down there. You know what I mean? And then you've got Sector 3 as well.
That likes that kind of thing. Yeah. Want to say Haas for one, who'd run a very skinny rear wing, compromise themselves a little bit in the middle sector, but could make up for it with blistering speed in sectors 1 and 3. So
Yeah. You know, I'm not going to discredit the Racing Bulls. You know what I mean? The Racing Bulls didn't do too bad. Yuki sort of redeemed himself a little bit. Russell redeemed himself, but barely.
I'm struggling with you bounced up and down a little bit, but
And then
Hulkenberg 14th. So the rest of it sort of as expected. I mean, the two Hasses didn't make Q3, but both Racing Bulls did.
Yeah.
Yuki probably one of his best qualifying since he got into the Red Bull.
Yep.
I would think.
I'd say so. That's all I've really got to say on quali. Anything you want to add? On a quali, or you want to move on to the race? It lets me.
I saw.
You what?
I said I didn't see any of. Obviously, I didn't see. I only seen a highlight reel of the main quali. So if you want to move straight onto the race,
Yeah.
at least I saw that, so I can be a bit more help.
Well, if anybody watched it live, there was a nice lengthy delay, wasn't there? Of a certain weather.
Luckily,
the weather.
Go on.
The weather caused the
delay.
weather,
which Spa's famous for. If you're on Spa, we've had quite a few of these events over the years. Now, one thing I did notice, and it's one of those things, is with the decision that was made, which was for it to be a rolling start when it finally got going, there was a hell of an advantage to all those cars that were supposed to start in the pit lane, wasn't there?
Yep.
Because basically that was null and voided for them.
Well, yeah.
You know, so what did we do? We did. I'm sure the delay was towards now. Like I say, luckily I was watching the recording, so I just skipped past it. But
interesting conversations.
I didn't catch any of that, I'm afraid.
Well, the fact that Nico Rosberg joined Crofty and Brundle in the commentary box for a little bit. And then disappeared before the at the 10-minute warning mark. So
good time around. I was kind of hoping you.
You what?
So it was good to have him around. I kind of hoping Sky give him a full time slot.
Well, he did the grid walk with mine as well, but I didn't see it. I just know of him being on the grid walk with Brundle, and it was just like, oh, okay.
The race gets underway, and at which point I guess Oscar Piastri was taking notes during the sprint. Because he basically did to Lando exactly what Max did to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell you what, he had some guts to take him that way and through all that spray.
My opinion. Oh yeah.
Because it's just like, Jesus. I mean, the race wasn't bad, but it.
Right now, I don't know. It was a bit of a. There wasn't much happened, was there? Once we got past the initial delay, unfortunately. Okay, you had as much as I hate to praise him, you had a great drive from Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
Until he got to the back of Albon's gearbox, clearly liked the look of it and stayed there for the rest of the race.
Albon wasn't giving that up easy, I'll tell you that.
Oh no, he wasn't, was he? And fair play to him. But he was reminiscent to the old days of Monaco, where he just followed him round for most of the race. Kimi sadly didn't have a great one. Digi qualified low, didn't do well.
No, didn't.
Only one guy lapped in Hadjar, which is unusual these days.
Yeah. But they tried. The problem was they tried something with Hadjar and it.
Apparently the car picked up either a mechanical fault or some damage or something, didn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, he picked up. He either had a fault or had some damage. There was something which basically cost him a lot of straight line speed.
Man.
As we've already alluded to once, I like a straight line speed. He's not great at this circuit.
No, well, I'd heard that obviously Lando had complained at the beginning that he'd lost his pack. He'd lost his battery pack.
Yeah, but I think wasn't that just that he had really run down during the start procedure, and I think he did come back to him.
Yeah, but it seemed weird that the car would learn where to harvest.
Oh no, it's fair enough. It's to try and take something off the drive, something the driver doesn't have to think about, don't they? So the car will sort of figure out where the driver's off the throttle.
Mm.
And we'll use those as harvesting points. It makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you get road cars now that's supposed to adapt to the road you're driving on. Automatic gearboxes now that will learn sort of the roadway around you and sort of adjust how they shift appropriately.
Yeah. Which weird, but yeah.
I'm not saying it isn't, but it's want something which is more and more common.
Well, sometimes I can be going down the road. I can going down the road at 30 mile an hour. My car will be in fifth, not fourth.
I thought yours was a manual.
No, mine's not Mac.
Well, that fast for me. I thought yours was a manual. Fair enough.
No, sometimes I can go, like I say, I can go down the road and at 30 mile an hour, my car will put it in fifth.
There's so many different things it works out. It's like the ones we have with stop start on. There's so many different things they figure out. To
Let's go stop.
When it works and when it doesn't. So
So, question to you was, do you
Well, the shortest podcast we've ever done.
Do you think that the safety car was like too long out? Or were they trying to avoid a Silverstone of calling it in really late? Because I noticed
worry now that times that the FIA have gone almost too far into the
caution.
Let's wait for the track to be fully dry.
Too much into the cautious zone, it seems.
Want to use them. Maybe it's just me. If it'd been me, I think. Well, to us, I think they'd have probably been just about ready for a restart. They could have probably gone straight onto restart when they finally got going. I don't think they needed the safety car laps particularly.
No, but they were doing it to try and dry the track, weren't they? Really?
The best way to dry the track is to have cars out there.
No, they said the grid was one side of the grid was too wet. That's why they opted for the rolling start.
Which probably helped. Like I say, it definitely helped the starting from the pit lane guys. It basically gave them a freebie. Probably actually helped Piastri in a way as well, because it meant that he didn't have to risk, didn't have as much risk from behind him.
No.
Max.
It was Lando that took took a start.
That. We're going now. I'll throw the question back to you then. What's your thoughts on that, the safety car? What would you have done? If you'd been the race director this weekend, what would you have done?
Maybe I'd have sent them round on the formation lap under safety car, see what the visibility is like. Probably red flagged it, let it pass, get them round at least 3 laps.
So basically exactly what they did.
Well, they did 4 on the safety car. Get them round twice, see what the visibility is like. If it's good on that second lap, call the safety car in on the third lap, and then just get them away. Really.
Yeah. But you'd done a proper grid style, would you not?
If the grid was dry enough, yeah, I'd have done a standing start.
Fair enough.
Anything else you sort of want to add before we move on to the?
That's the only thing we're about to set a record for the shortest podcast we've ever done.
Probably.
No, like I said, all I was saying is what I said to you beforehand is I feel like we need to mark this occasion that I think this is where Oscar Piastri sort of really put his mark on this championship, and I think I don't know if Lando can come back from this.
Lando made too many mistakes, not gonna lie. And he was the only one
Something I've said about him in the past.
He was the only one that had tyres. And he locked it up twice.
Which actually wasn't, the lock-up for the problem. The hard tyres actually weren't a bad shout, because at the end of that race, if he'd have kept it together, I think he'd have ended up very close.
Yeah.
Now, the trouble is, you almost worry too much he'd end up doing what he did at Canada again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there's been a chance of him getting... There's been a chance of some action, I think, if he'd have...
Not made mistakes.
Not made too many, just silly little mistakes. And it's only, it's a few tenths here, a few tenths there, but by the end of it, them few tenths here and there add up.
Cost him.
Yeah.
Did cost
But
him.
there was a few others. Towards the end of that race, it sort of almost seemed to... Everyone seemed to sort of stalemate. You had Max behind Russell, but didn't seem to be able to get anywhere.
Yeah.
I say you had Hamilton staring at the back of Albon, couldn't seem to get anywhere.
Max was behind Leclerc. They couldn't get anywhere.
Leclerc, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Russell was behind Max.
But everyone seemed to be just holding each other off.
Right, well, I'm going to move it forward. So,
You want to fancy there, folks, because to me it sounded like Bender malfunctioning.
God knows what's going on, to be honest. So,
I just hope it's slightly clearer for your end of the recording.
Should be. Hopefully. We do apologise for this, but, So obviously we've got Angela in 8th on 131. Gasly screwed her, by the way.
Yeah.
Adam in 7th on 163.
With a no negative chip played, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
And I think it helped him, because I know Hadjar was a negative.
Ryan in 6th on 173. David in 5th with 175.
You see there, Hadjar, the minus.
Yeah, -7.
Yep.
Logan in 4th. With no negative played. Additional transfer points deducted from overall score.
Did he make more transfers than? Yeah, he made.
Guessing
He
so.
must have made. Wow, you're allowed 3 changes. He must have made 6 changes going into this race.
Kind of screwed himself a little bit. Then there's me on 211. Hadjar again, but
Yeah.
not worried. Simon in 2nd. 213.
Hadjar again.
Hadjar.
And Alan, the
Yeah,
little
but
snicket.
unfortunately, Alan's has now played his limitless chip.
Yeah, I know. If I vote,
Have you used your limitless?
yes, I used it at Red Bull Ring, didn't I? Well, Max in, and then Kimmy immediately took him out 2 corners in.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine's used, unfortunately.
So I know why Alan did that.
Because look how close he's taken him to. If you go into the overalls,
He's overtaken me.
yeah, only just.
Yeah. It's fine. I'm not worried.
So he's only just overtaking. He's not got a massive gap.
Well, it's 2,461 to 2,464.
So it's 3 points.
Yeah. I'm not worried. I'll come back at him. I mean, you're up to 6.
You're also worried about me, I know it.
Well, Alan will be more worried than I am. But yeah, I'm not worried. I knew he'd try to go sneaky on it. I knew we'd try and go sneaky with it. So still plenty of time for me to catch up and him to have bad races.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of time left yet.
So there's a lot of time.
Left yet.
A lot of time for me to start messing with my chips that I've still got to play with. I know exactly when I'll know exactly where I'm gonna use my limitless.
Bloody hell, this guy's got it all mapped out, folks.
I know exactly where I'm gonna use some of my other chips. So I'm not worried. But I'm just pretty surprised at why Alan decided he was gonna do that at Spa. But we'll see.
Yeah, everything's very good. Oh,
Anything you want to add before finish?
not really, no. Like I say, unfortunately, it's a bit of a nothing weekend, and normally we end up, even the weekends where there's nothing, there's usually still a bit of controversy or something. Well, this weekend really was nothing.
No, there wasn't.
Was there even a yellow flag during the actual race?
No.
You know what I mean? Which, when you consider the conditions, is number one very impressive.
Mm.
But it just kind of leaves us with not a lot to talk about.
No, unfortunately. Oh well. I'll do timings for Hungary then, shall I?
Yeah, go for it.
So 1st to the 3rd of August. 1st of August, these are UK times. Practice 1, 12:30 till 1:30. Practice 2, 4 o'clock till 5. I'm at a meeting that day, so not bothered. I'll just get qualifying. 2nd of August, practice 3 at 11:30 till 12:30. Qualifying 3 o'clock till 4. And then 3rd of August, races at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Let's hope Hungary's a little bit more interesting, shall we? So, yeah, I'm gonna end this one here. So obviously, thank you to everybody for listening. Don't forget, it comes out on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Obviously, thank you to David for being here.
Talk about pleasure as always.
And we shall see you for the next one. So until then,
Later, folks.
goodbye for now.